So right now, millions and millions of Americans are running out of money, and you may be one of them. However, things are actually going to go from bad to worse very soon. Today I want to break down what's happening. I want to actually read you some stories about what people are going through, but how some of their employers are making matters worse. Not only that, we're seeing prices rise across the board. This includes for food, this includes fuel, transportation, this includes real estate is still going up. And on top of that, insurance rates, property taxes, HOA fees, and so much more. Today I want to break down what's going on at this time and what you need to be prepared for, because right now this is hitting many people without any notice. So I'll break all it down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So what we are seeing at the moment is scary. People are literally running out of money. They look at their bank account, there's nothing there. They go to their credit cards and, well, they're maxed out. Their credit card companies will not increase their limit. They will not touch it. And if anything, they're reducing it. I want to show you this. Inflation right now has Americans changing their life and spending and plans. I talked to a friend of mine just recently, was planning to take a trip over to Europe, decided, nope, not going to happen because prices continue to increase. Now, he already paid for his flight, but he didn't pay for his hotel, and then food costs and all the luxuries and entertainment. He decided it's just not worth it. So he decided he was going to get a full refund for his flight. He's using that money to pay down his credit card. He did that, and then guess what? Credit card, yep, they did it like they always do. They came back and said, we are going to lower your limit. You don't have the spending power that you once did. So essentially, he gave up a trip to pay down a credit card, and then the credit card company said, we're actually going to lower and minimize our risk by lowering your card. Well, it's happening all over. Look at this. It says U.S. consumer spending. U.S. consumer borrowing surges by $40.8 billion, which is the most on record. Yeah, $40.8 billion. That's a massive amount. Look at this right here. It says total credit jumped $40.8 billion after a revised $5.4 billion decrease a month earlier. That's according to the Federal Reserve data released on Friday. Now, this was actually like a couple weeks ago. Now, what you need to understand about this, though, is the American people are struggling, and we're using credit to try to get ahead. The problem is it's not happening fast enough. And then look at this. It says outstanding credit card and other revolving debt increased by $22.9 billion in December. Yeah, we just continue to spend and spend and spend. Now, look at this, though. It says Americans' credit card and household debt reach an all-time high. And we've known this, that we were on the path and it was going to happen eventually. But why? Well, look at this. It says why American credit card delinquencies have suddenly shot up. They are now at a 13-year high. This is concerning. Now, I don't want to get into all the reasons why credit card debt is going up. A lot of it has to do with the prices of everything increasing. The American people just don't have the savings that we once did. There's really no stimulus that is coming over the next few months. Now, yes, President Trump and billionaire Elon Musk floated the idea of a $5,000 Doge dividend. But if you watch my video that I did and published just earlier today, I'm telling you that according to experts and multiple congressional aides, they are saying that we are far from receiving a $5,000 dividend check. If anything, it's going to be probably half. That's only $2,500, but that might not even be the case. We might see something close to like $1,500. Again, helpful, but it's not going to pull us out of debt. Here's the issue, though. As more and more Americans fall deeper into debt, run out of money, are delinquent on their credit cards, are getting cars repossessed, or homes are being foreclosed on, which foreclosures are increasing. The problem is, what does the rest of our life look like? Think about this for a second. Because I was talking to a friend of mine who actually just lost his car. His car got repossessed. And he was a little bit distraught, but he thought, you know what? That's probably the best thing because he couldn't afford it. The maintenance on it was a Land Rover or a Range Rover. The maintenance on it was just too much. He couldn't afford it. Didn't know why he bought it. Anyway, he thought this was probably the best thing. But originally he was very distraught that I just lost the vehicle. I've never had something foreclosed on. Never had something taken from me through a repossession. And so now it's like, what do I do? Well, looking back, maybe that was the best thing. But listen to this, okay? And I want to read you this because these are the stories that I continue to hear. Listen to what somebody wrote to me. Somebody wrote, and I quote, "I once thought that not having money would be the biggest problem I ever had, but I was quickly proven wrong. As a customer service representative at a regional bank," I'm not going to tell you the bank, "but I was recently fired due to my poor financial situation. My manager informed me that due to my recent repossession, the bank doesn't feel I am a good fit for their branch and therefore let me go." That's what we are seeing, where somebody comes in doing a great job, but they have a little bit of financial difficulty, right? I've heard multiple stories over the past several months where people that are working at a bank, and it's not necessarily a teller or a customer service representative, they could be a lender, whatever. They're working and employed by a bank or a financial institution. Well, they have financial troubles. So they're falling behind on credit cards, right? They're in default by 30, 60, 90 days. They are have things going to collection, which again is a problem. I remember a friend of mine years ago, this was probably right before the financial crisis, where maybe it was during, I can't remember, but it was right about that time. He ended up losing his job. And he lost his job simply because he had a couple bills that went to collection. Well, he was working sales, and it was at a car dealership. So because he had a couple things that went to collection and to a collection agency, he lost his job. It's interesting because we're kind of going back to that same thing. Now listen to this story though. This person wrote to me, and I quote, "Everybody says that as long as you have an income, then you are good. And I used to think this as well, but boy, how things have changed. I had a great job making just over $85,000 a year. My car was paid off and I had my own home. But then the city came knocking. Now my property taxes jumped from $4,300 a year to $7,600 per year. My HOA decided that now was a good time to make repairs and improvements on the neighborhood. So my HOA bill went from $272 per month to $415. And now my car's transmission needs to be replaced. That's another $6,000 I will have to pay. And to make matters worse, Bank of America decided to cut my credit card in half. So instead of $10,000 as a limit, I now only have $5,000 available. And yes, I will likely have to sell my home." So this is kind of where we're at. People are having to make life-changing decisions because of what is going on in the economy. Now, yes, there are still, people are making money hand over fist. Like there are certain parts of this economy that are doing well, doing extremely well. There are certain individuals and businesses that are making bank, and that's great. But this is the problem. We see certain people, and these are usually lower income households, that are really struggling. Then those that are the upper middle class and higher are doing fairly well. And then you got the middle class Americans. Like this person making $85,000 a year, right? Their car was paid off. They own their own home, right? Great. But now car needs to be, the transmission needs to be fixed, right? Replaced. That's $6,000. Maybe they sell their car. HOA bill just went up by $143, right? A month. That's pretty substantial. Property taxes went up over $4,000, right? Or $3,000, excuse me. So again, it's substantial. So right now, inflation has Americans struggling, but at the same time, this is why we're running out of money. So just to kind of break things down for you, I don't see the federal government stepping up and giving us a $5,000 stimulus check to help us rebuild and pay off debt and do all these things. This isn't the pandemic. This isn't 2020. We're not going down that road. What we are likely to see is the better businesses, they're going to succeed. The ones that are struggling, those are going to fail. That's ultimately what's going to happen. It's going to happen kind of the same way for the American people. Some are going to prevail and get through this. Others, not so much, and things will get worse. And that's part of the problem. Right now in this United States, in this economy, it's not about being level and everyone being equal. It's about the better people, not necessarily the people, but the better businesses are going to do much better. They're going to thrive and they're going to do great through this. The other businesses are going to go out of business. So we're going to see what happens. All I can tell you right now is just remember this, okay? That people are struggling. They're running out of money, but it's going to get even worse. So as we get more information on this and as we get more updates as to how things are getting worse, I promise I will bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get it. But again, as of today, that is what we know. So thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.